Good evening, everyone. My name's Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading's Miami office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Monday, September the 9th, 2013, and here is today's After the Bell market summary video brought to you by wallstreettrading.com. Just a quick reminder, if you have not been to the website yet, go check it out. There's a lot of free educational information on the site. At the same time, if you want to find out some details on our education course or joining our proprietary trading firm, you can contact me at ccooper at wallstreettrading.com. Aside from that, let's go ahead and break down the charts, taking a look at the markets here first. The Dow was up 140 points, the Nasdaq closed up 46 points, the S&P 500 closed up 16.5 points. The strongest index today was the Russell 2000, followed by the Nasdaq, then the S&P 500, then the Dow. All right, and we'll take a look at the Russell numbers here shortly. As far as the breadth on the market goes, we had 4,929 issues advancing on the NYSE, NASDAQ, and the AMEX. We had 1,340 issues declining on the NYSE, NASDAQ, and the AMEX. Therefore, breadth was in favor of the bulls pretty much on a 4-to-1 basis there, just about. All right, so let's go and break down the chart, starting off with the S&P 500, the E-minis. You can see we broke above today's resistance. The market closed up 16.5 points, 1% on the S&P 500 E-minis here. And you can see once we broke above that 1660 level, and we broke above this high right here, which was 1667.5, we hit our next target of resistance right here from this prior support, which becomes resistance, which these are the levels that we gave out this morning in our chat room. If you have not been to our chat room yet, it is mywallstreettv.com. If you would like to get access to that room, you can go to our home page and fill out the form on the right hand side, or if you would just want to check it out real quick, where you won't be guaranteed the 7-day free trial, you could go into the room, log in, mywallstreettv.com, put in your email, and then type in the password SMART. But again, to get the 14-day free trial, which again, if you go more than 14 days, you could just send me an email and you could have more days to check out the room. But to get the 14-day free trial for sure, you want to make sure you put your information to that form on the home page. Aside from that, you can see the ES, we closed right at that resistance level. At the same time, we broke this little downward trend line right here. So I would say as long as we can hold above 1661 or so, 1660, we should expect dip buyers to try to buy all the dips going forward, unless we really get back below 1650 and start holding below that level. That was another key level that we gave out in the room to watch, as that 1650 was important from this little consolidation we had right here. And pretty much they chopped us around over here, so below 1650 bearish, above it bullish, below 1650 bearish, above it bullish. It got to the point where that has become a main inflection level where if we're above it, you want to be bullish. If we're below it, you want to be bearish. So aside from that, levels to watch going forward for tomorrow on the ES would be the 1680 level. And of course, we will have some minor resistance or some levels to watch from this little consolidation that we had in the range, where we have all these little wicks that have come into play. All right, then to the downside, if we pull back in, I would say around 1662, that may be a buying opportunity. Okay, so let's see here. All right, so let's go and take a look at the SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF, which is I'm pretty sure a majority of you guys use to trade your stocks today. We actually use the ES to get more of the overnight action and levels on the market. But in any case here, the SPY, again, back above 168 on the SPY for this little range would be pretty good, and we will probably get a nice little gap fill, which is all the way right here around 168.75 or so. So keep that level on watch as well. And the breakout level we had today was over Friday's highs around 167. So as long as we can hold above 167 going forward for the rest of the week, we should see the market continue to trend higher and try to get back inside this little yellow supply range that we have right here. Now the triple Qs were the outperforming sector today. The triple Qs made new 52-week highs. We've been talking about the Nasdaq showing some different strength and how there's a lot of potential on the market for the Nasdaq as it makes its way up towards that 61.8% retracement Fibonacci from the highs that we made back here in 2000 to the lows that we made during the bear market sell-off all the way in 2002. Let me just drag over the screen here so you can see what I'm talking about. So here we have our Fibonacci retracements from the sell-off, and you can see that nice consolidation. That's our main level that we have to watch from the breakdown area right here, the 61.8% Fibonacci level. It's low right here. All right, if we take off the, well, you can see here now that 61.8% retrace, we still have a lot of room to go here, right? We could go all the way up to 82.5, and we're currently at 77.83. Yeah, we could go up another, say, 5 points or so. So the triple Qs, they do have a lot of potential. Apple was strong today. Let's go and take a look at Apple real quick. Might as well just go through some stocks while we're looking at the NASDAQ index. Oops. So Apple, AAPL here. Nice day today, up $7.95. Just go ahead and call it $8, up 1.5% or so. Small range day today. I mean, a little move off the lows, move off the highs, so a little inside kind of range day here. But tomorrow they have a big conference going on where they're going to talk about the new iPhone or the iPhone and about their how everything's going in China. I believe they did a deal with China Mobile, so we'll see what happens. We'll definitely expecting a nice little move in the stock tomorrow. And again, this stock breaks out over 510. If it doesn't break out over 510, it's probably going to chop around sideways and wait for some of these moving averages to catch up to it. So keep an eye on Apple. Looks interesting. Again, hopefully you're not buying it up here and you bought it down here. We don't trade Apple. We use it as a gauge, though. Well, I don't trade Apple. Some of the traders in the office trade Apple. But aside from that, Apple was pretty good today. I mean, Microsoft was up 1.5% or so. All right, so traded traded good as well. Okay, Microsoft, nice little day there. Yahoo. Yahoo was a big player in the tech sector today. It was very strong. Right, finally broke above this 28.49 level, and now we could expect this to start making its way back up there towards 29.75 or so. The 52-week highs in the stock is right here around 29.82. ACAM. Now I've been watching this stock for a little bit. This stock has been forming a nice little bullish cup and handle pattern. Here you got your little rounding bottom. You got your little handle. ACAM, guys, is definitely a name that you want to keep on your radar for tomorrow. Their earnings, they just had earnings back here in July, around July 22nd, and it held those earnings gains there. And now we have a cup and handle breakout pattern here. It looks pretty good. Whether you want to call it a cup and handle or an up move and sideways consolidation, maybe a bull flag. In essence, you have an upward movement, sideways action, which is indicative of a move higher. And there goes your move higher today as it breaks out and makes new 52-week highs, guys. The chart looks pretty good. Keep this one on your radar for tomorrow. Take a look at the 60-minute chart, and you can see this thing just took off today. And going forward for tomorrow, if it was to pull back down towards, say, 48.50, that could be a nice little pickup off that level there. So keep ACAM on watch, Yahoo on watch for the tech sector. You also had some action in Oracle. So I mean, pretty much the whole tech sector did pretty well today. Let's take a look back at the indices here. The IWM. IWM broke the nice little downward trend line. You can see we're back above that key 103 level. All right, the next resistance level on the IWM is right here around, say, 104.75. Then we have 105. Then we have these highs. But this looks pretty good, guys. Draw a little parallel channel line right here, and you can see we pretty much formed like a nice little downward channel and the big upward channel. Same thing we kind of did right here. A little bit, move up right here, a little bit, back test, move up. So we're forming these consecutive patterns, and therefore we should, the market looks like it wants to go back up and retest the year highs, to be honest with you guys. So you want to start looking for some strong sectors. The financials did pretty well today. JP Morgan, they didn't have too much of a big day. I mean, Citigroup was the best performing one along with Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley. But JP Morgan had a little bit of trouble today, but if the financials start to catch a nice bid, okay, then JP Morgan, of course, is going to catch a nice bid with the rest of the financials. But Morgan Stanley was up over 2% today. This one looks pretty good. You can see ever since it broke this nice little downward channel, this one's making its way back up towards those highs around 28. Keep an eye on Morgan Stanley going into tomorrow's session. Goldman Sachs, another key bank to watch. Okay, that performed better than JP Morgan and Bank of America. Okay, Goldman Sachs looks pretty good as well. Once it gets above this 160.72 level or 161 area, where I'm pretty sure a lot of people have their stop at, all right, then this thing's going to get a nice little pop up, and then especially once it gets over 162, which you can see was the pivot that we had right there. So over 162, this thing's going to be making its way back up towards 168. So keep an eye on the financials. Downward channel, break play here, looks pretty good. Okay, what else? Let's go and take a look at some currency action real quick, and then we'll take a look at some more names. The currency, the US dollar got smacked down today. Remember, we hit the top of this resistance right here. We never got no confirmation close above our 82.50 resistance level, and now this thing's going to come back down. Now we're going to be watching this dollar real close because I'm in the camp that I think the dollar's going to make a move lower, and if the dollar does break back inside or back below this little channel line that it broke through right here, we're going to have an example, or we're going to have a pretty much a bull trap where people were looking to get long over this 82.50. They got stuck in that long, and now they're getting shaken out that trade. And now if we fall back in the channel, our target's going to be back down towards the bottom of this little trend line right here, which also lines up with the big pattern, which is that nice little megaphone pattern or broadening formation, whatever you guys want to call it. That will be our target down there, which is, I still think it's a target. I still think it's going to get hit. Right now the dollar's just bouncing around over the place. So we'll see how this currency movement in the dollar reacts, how the different asset classes react to that, such as the commodities, crude oil. We did see the basic material sector catch a nice bit today. The industrial metals were pretty good. The steel stocks, the coal stocks. So looks like risk is on a little bit in the basic material sector, and looks like the market wants to go back up to high. So that kind of makes sense of risk, trying to get put back on here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the euro. All right. The euro looks like it wants to try to make its way back up towards the 134 level to give us a nice little breakout. Keep an eye on that euro action. All right, so far we looks like we have a possible bear trap with a shakeout action below this 132 level. We hold above 132, and we trigger over today's highs on the euro USD dollar spot. We're going to be expecting this one to make a move back up towards the 134 level. Again, we don't trade the euro, at least not on a consistent basis. I did trade the euro futures before, but I do like to watch the currencies to see how it affects the different asset classes in the commodity sector. So let's go and take a look at some of the commodities now, starting off with gold. All right, gold futures. All right, they've been a little bit weak ever since we made that high back here on August the 28th. But right now they're still pulling back. As long as we could continue to hold above, say, 1348, 1350, I think gold's going to be looking for another move higher. All right, if we take a look at the gold miners, the GDX, just flashing to these charts right here, guys. Take a look at the GDX. GDX couldn't break and hold above the 31 area, and now it looks like it wants to come right back down a little bit. We do have a little gap fill somewhere around this 2650 level, so keep an eye on that level right there, which comes from this area, from that candlestick. So 2650 looks like a good level to watch. If we take a look at silver via the ETF here, SLV, this one's all over the place. Wouldn't be messing with silver right now if you didn't catch this move up. What else? Let's take a look at the volatility index, the VIX. The VIX did spike above that key 16 level, but again, every time we get above or in this little range between 16 and 19, they sell us off, or every time we get above it, they bring us right back down. So this really doesn't seem to be no real fear in the market, at least not until these people maybe start throwing some missiles over there in Syria. There's just no fear in the market, but we'll see how this VIX plays out. All right, so let's go ahead and finish going over some stocks here. The biotechs were strong today. GILD had a nice move. You can look at this one going into tomorrow for a follow through action. Target will be back up towards the high of 64. I highlighted these stocks or this sector this morning in our chat room, My Wall Street TV. Again, if you have not been to the room yet, go check it out. A lot of good information in there. You also had BSX, Boston Scientific Corporation. This one broke out. Looks like it's going to give a nice trigger to the whole number of 12 tomorrow. Keep an eye on this stock right here. All right, got a little range between 10.50 and 11.50 or so. Just broke out. Today was a major breakout day on it, and should have a nice follow through on it tomorrow, as we are now starting to establish and hold a nice bid above the range. Aside from that, folks, I could go on with some stocks. Actually, let me just finish going through a couple more. We still have some more time here. The coal stocks look pretty good. WLT over 1650 would definitely stop out some shorts for anybody that's pretty much short. This breakdown right here would stop above that level. That should trigger some buy stops. So keep an eye on WLT. Nice volume starting to come in that stock, along with the other coal stocks such as BTU, which gives a breakout tomorrow over this little pivot high of 1880. ANR, this little cheap one right here, ANR looks pretty decent, right? It broke this nice little long-term downward channel. Could be a nice little swing trade for some of you guys out there. And we have JRCC, which is a little cheap one, but this one could move if the sector starts to move. So keep an eye on JRCC. And then we have The steel stocks, which did pretty well today. Again, the basic material stock sector was one of the best performing sectors. We have U.S. Steel finally breaking out of this little range that it's been in since back here in April. So this little 4-month range it's been in. We're starting to get some buyers in there. Notice how it held a high bid in the middle 50% of that range off of that double bottom. Notice how the volume starting to increase there at the bottom of the screen as well. So this one looks pretty good. Keep an eye on U.S. Steel. If you keep an eye on U.S. Steel, that means you want to make sure you're looking at AKS and CLF. And these stocks are starting to shape up a little bit good, guys. So AKS especially looks pretty good. Aside from that, have a great day. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Make sure you check out the website. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And again, if you're interested in joining our prop firm or taking our education course for equity trading, contact me at ccooper at wallstreettrading.com. Have a great day, folks. Cheers.